Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. Well, okay, we've got another project here. Not such an interesting project because basically it's just cutting a rotor, but fairly interesting setup because it's going to take some maneuvering around and dinking around before we can get to actually doing the cutting. But this guy drops these rotors off with me yesterday and says, well, you know, I need to, I live in Allegheny, which is about 40 miles back into the woods from here, and there's a couple of pretty steep hills to get to Allegheny and to get back out of. And the brakes in his truck keep giving out on him. So he bought a new set of rotors and he wants to put grooves in the rotors. And this particular truck doesn't come with rotors that have grooves in them, cooling grooves. So we're going to go ahead and cut these grooves and then also drill some holes about every 3 inches around the perimeter of the rotors themselves. So we're all set up. Why don't I bring you in closer? We'll figure out the setup of this thing, which is going to be the complicated part and the interesting part. So hang in there with me. Let's have some fun. Okay, I got the table down as far as I can get it. We're going to come in with a 90-degree head here, which is, once I bought this mill, this was almost the first tool I bought, you know, an additional tool. It, you know, it was the early days, and it was, I was kind of surprised at the price, even on eBay used. But then, of course, later on I bought other tools and I wasn't surprised because kind of like dentistry, every tool you buy is incredibly expensive. But we did it. Let me go get an Allen wrench for this. And since then, this tool has come in handy, oh, not as many times as I hoped, but it has come in handy. Boy, we're just barely gonna make it here, but because the table is down as far as we can get, but we are gonna make it, so that's saying something. Come on. Now we have to get it until it drops into the little slot. All right. Now what we need to do is come off of the back of our mill here, come off of this plate here, or maybe, well, we can't get any lower and we can't get any higher. So we can come off of this plate here and square this up to get ourselves square with the machine itself. Thinking maybe even just a small one. Yeah, that'll give us what we need. All right, so let's loosen it up. Ah! Sure, that's what I get. Bring it back down. There we go. Now, pick this up a bit. Oh, I'm going to have to come up. Pick that up a bit. Bring it around. Snug down one of these bolts. pretty close. Not bad. I'm sure it's not right on though. And you know, I do this with the square just because the angle of the cut is not critical. Anyhow, as I said, the angle is not critical. I'd say we're right on. And so, because it's going to be 30 degrees somewhere in the 30-degree mark. Now the question is are we going to have enough room back here? This is probably too big because we're down as far as we can get, and this is up as far as it can get. Oh, I don't know. It might work. All right, let's give that a try. Okay. This goes in here. Tighten it up. Get that centered. Now, what we need to do is find 90, and that can happen anywhere really, but it probably would be better to have it happen right close to dead center. So we'll do it this way. Okay. And again, we're just going to eyeball this. There's our 90, or there's our close to dead center. Here's our 90. And we need 30 degrees from that. Get out our little 30-degree dooley bop. Yeah, we can. Okay, 30 degrees. And we'll be back in a minute. Okay, we got the saw set up. Now what he wants is this groove approximately every 3 inches. And so I've got it up here in the super spacer so that we can figure out what he wants. There's 3 inches right there. And hopefully it's going to be like 30 degrees or something like that. Let's give it a try and see. Oops. I guess I better tighten it up, hadn't I? All right, let's get this thing straightened out a little bit better. Come on out. Bang the camera a little bit. That sits right on. Okay, so now about 30 degrees, and we're going to take this around until it drops right in about there. And how many degrees is that? 10, 20, 30 degrees. So it's just a little bit further will give us 30 degrees. Nice. Makes it easy because the super spacer kicks in at 30 degrees. All right, so now we're set up there. We got that. We want to get this going. And that's actually a pretty high speed. We're going to slow it down a bit. Something like that. Now, it's working on this side, but the problem is we're down as far as we can be, and this is up as far as it can go. Yeah. So when we get ready to flip this over, it's going to be too high. Let's see what we've got. Oops, the other way. Yeah, we can bring it out. I'd say it's just a little too high, huh? But not sure what we can do, because it's definitely going to be too high. Now maybe we can take the jaws off and just grab it with just that little bit of a section there, and that might get it. Let's clean off this. And we need to pull that or tap it in. Nope, pull it. Let's see if it will respond. Now the other thing we can do is put a smaller saw blade in there, and I have some smaller blades. The question is will they work? Let's see what we can come up with here. Still too tall. Okay. All right, we're gonna try to switch blades and see what we can come up with. Well, it's a couple of days later. I had to order a 4-inch blade, and you know, of course that took a day. Now we're back into it, so we're going to cut these grooves every 30 degrees all the way around the perimeter of this, and that's going to go down about 125 thousandths. So let's get cutting. I know it looks off balance, but actually, and I think what I'll do is go ahead and just take a towel. That looks pretty clean. Okay, so kick it into gear or get it up close. Oh wait, I've got to put a dampener on it. Things makes a hell of a lot of noise if I don't get a bungee cord in here. Makes a hell of a lot of noise either way, but we're ready to get rolling here. All right, well, we're done with the slots. Now we have to come in and put two holes in between each one of these slots. But first we're going to turn this thing over and do the other side. Now what I've done is I put just a little bit of a notch right there at 15 degrees so that I have an index to set my holes later on when when I set this thing back up. So we're going to take this apart and go from there, and we'll be back. All right, we got all our slots cut, and I put a little nick right in the tip here to delineate halfway, and that's where we come back in and drill our 2 1/4-inch holes. So, but for the moment, we're going to take this 90-degree head apart. If I can find the 5/8 wrench, there it is. We just put a filler collet in there just to keep it from getting dirty and dusty and stuff. That looks pretty good. There we go. Get our Allen, put something underneath this just in case it gets away from me. Okay. And the shaft stayed in, which doesn't always happen. Throw a rag in here, because who knows how long before I use this again. The last time I used it, well, the last time I used it was a couple of days ago, but then the time before I used it was like, oh, I don't know, 2 years ago. So it kind of sits around, and then all of a sudden it needs to be used. Okay, drill chuck. Tighten everything up. Quarter-inch drill bit. And we're going to bring this, let's bring this back 1 notch. No, it's got to go to there. Right. So it wants to sit at 15 degrees off. That actually might be the place where we want it to be. Let's go ahead and bring this in. Okay. Kick it back a bit and see where it lands. Yep, that looks pretty much like halfway. I'm going to get a pointer in there and make it a little closer. Okay. Get our cheater glasses. Bring it down. God, that looks like I hit it right on the money. Couple of thousands. Now, from here, we want to get right out on that edge. And then we want to go all the way to the inside edge. And we're looking at 2578, 2 inches, 578 thousandths. Let's divide that by 3. 2 inches, 578 divided by 3 equals, oops, 2 inches, 578 divided by 3. 8:59. Okay. So 8:59, 59. That takes us halfway. I'm going to mark that. Looks pretty good. And then times 2, 17180. And there's our second hole. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so 859 and 171. Let's put ourselves a drill bit in here. And we'll see what we've got. And we may end up having to go in with a mill bit, because there's all kinds of weird stuff in between here, and he wants me to go all the way through, and so it might catch one of these fins and catch it wrong. But for the moment, let's just give it a try and see. Gonna speed things up. On 15. Okay, so we're gonna take it over. Oh. Yeah, then we can just rotate this back. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because I've got all my 30-degree connections marked. On the degree wheel, and I don't have to fight this whole thing. Okay, so I just erased that. So let's come back to 851. $8.51, $8.59. There's 8:59. And all we have to do is loosen this. So all we have to do is loosen our disc and bring it back until we're just about where we want to be. Let me go out to the edge here. Yeah, not quite right. More like right about there. Hey, see that? All right, that looks good. So, take our pointer out, put our drill bit back in. And our first drill hole is 1710. 1710. 1710, huh? Looks good. Yeah, I think that's going to be just about right. All right, let's give it a shot. Okay, we've done the other side. Now we've flipped this over. Now we're on this side, and pretty much same measurements, same drill, pretty much same everything. So let's just start drilling. All right, now we're just going to take the hand drill and go ahead and deburr these, and probably come in with a file and deburr these. Let's see. Let's see if this file will do it. You know what, a bigger file might be better. It'll do both sides at the same time. Done. They're sitting out here out in the yard because my customer is going to show up, and I'm going to just put him in his car any second now, in fact. Oh yeah, and I'm sitting on these logs. We had a couple of trees cut down this last summer, actually 3 or 4, that were leaning over buildings and kind of dangerous. So cut them down, cut them into lengths. I'm getting a portable sawmill over here sometime this autumn. He's going to cut them up into boards. We're going to make a couple of decks and have a bunch of extra wood left over. But you can see these are pretty damn big logs. So the brake job is over. We're done. This is Nick Collier checking out.